Okay, here's a thought. Can something be incredibly luxurious, like really lavish, but also surprisingly subtle?
That's a great question. It really hits at what we're looking at today.
Exactly. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a watch that seems to live right in that paradox.
Oh.
The Vuitton Tambour Platinum Rainbow.
Mm-hmm. And our mission really is to unpack how this limited edition piece pulls that off. You know, how it balances that artistic flashiness with some pretty serious watchmaking underneath.
Right.
We'll look at the design choices, the tech. Some of it might actually surprise you. It's very much a watch for the wearer, you could say.
I find that whole idea fascinating, lavish yet subtle. So how does this tambour, this specific watch, actually do that? Let's start with the metal itself. It's platinum, right? 9 and 50 platinum.
Exactly.
And people often say platinum is luxury only for the wearer. What's that about? Is luxury changing, maybe becoming more personal?
I think that's spot on. Yeah. I mean, in a world where a lot of luxury is, let's face it, quite loud.
Very loud, yeah.
Louis Vuitton here is doing something quieter. Choosing platinum. It assumes you, the person wearing it, get the value without needing everyone else to see it instantly.
So it looks like steel or white gold from far away.
Pretty much, yeah. Or at least it doesn't scream platinum. The real giveaway is up close, the luster, or just the weight. You feel it. It's heavier.
Ah, the density.
Exactly. It's sort of an if you know kind of luxury. A quiet pushback against just showing off.
Okay, but then there's the rainbow part.
Mm-hmm.
For some, rainbow still sounds pretty flashy, maybe even a bit much. How does LV keep it, as you said, tasteful?
Well, it's how they use the rainbow. It's not just throwing colors on there. They're using baguette-cut sapphires and rubies, those long rectangular cuts.
Right, not round, brilliant cuts.
You know, very sleek. And they're set as hour markers on the dial, angular. So they catch the light, give you that flash of color, but it feels controlled, refined. It's lively, but not chaotic or obnoxious.
It's like a controlled burst of energy.
Precisely. It adds excitement without overwhelming the design.
But the really clever part, the bit that got my attention, isn't just the dial. It's where else those stones show up. Can you talk about that? It's pretty unusual.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really interesting from a design perspective. So the new Tambour case is quite distinct, relatively thin profile, but the bezel itself, the ring around the crystal, is quite tall vertically.
Okay.
And LV used that height. They set 48 of these baguette stones, about 2.19 carats total, into the side of the bezel, the edge that faces outwards, not the top surface you normally look at.
Wow, okay, so you don't always see them.
Exactly. From straight on, you might barely notice them. It's as you move your wrist, as the watch turns, that you get these flashes of color from the side. It's quite subtle.
That keeps it from being too in your face, maybe. Helps maintain that sort of masculine feel despite the rainbow colors.
I think so, yeah. It keeps the primary view quite clean, mostly that gray platinum tone, but injects this playful, lively energy in a very unexpected way. It's clever.
Okay, so the outside is innovative, subtle yet playful. What about the inside? The mechanics? What's the horological heart beating in this tambour?
Ah, the engine, yeah. It's impressive. It's the caliber LFT 023.01. It's an automatic movement. And crucially, it's made in-house.
In-house meaning?
Meaning it's produced by LVMH Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy Group at their own facility, Le Fabrique du Temps, in Geneva. So not an off-the-shelf movement.
Got it. And what makes this movement special?
Well, a couple things. It uses a micro-rotor for winding. That means the little weight that winds the watch is smaller and integrated into the movement level, not sitting on top.
Which lets the whole watch be thinner, right?
Exactly. That helps achieve that slim 8.3 millimeter profile we mentioned. Performance-wise, it runs at 4 Hertz, pretty standard for good accuracy, and has a solid 50-hour power reserve.
So it'll run for a couple of days off the wrist.
Yep. And it's not just functionally sound, it's certified.
Certified how?
It's a certified chronometer by the Geneva Chronometric Observatory. That means it's passed independent, rigorous tests for accuracy based on ISO 359 standards. We're talking serious precision, just a few seconds deviation per day.
That's proper watchmaking cred.
Absolutely. And you can actually see the movement through the sapphire case back. They've even got an engraved micro-rotor made of 22-karat solid gold in there. Nice touch.
So it's beautiful, technically advanced, subtly flashy, but can you actually wear it? Is it comfortable? Practical even.
Surprisingly, yes. I mean, practical is relative at this price point, let's be honest.
True, 136,000 US is not exactly a beater watch price.
It's not at all, but purely from a wearability standpoint. It's great. That 40mm width is very versatile. The 8.3mm thickness makes it slip under a cuff easily, and the case has soft edges. It sits really nicely on the wrist.
So it can be a daily watch for someone, despite being so exclusive.
It really could, yeah. It's robust enough, comfortable enough. Whether someone would wear a limited edition Platinum Rainbow watch daily is another question, but the design allows for it. It's surprisingly versatile.
And it is very limited. Only 50 pieces.
Just 50 worldwide, so yeah, highly exclusive.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've looked at a watch that really seems to nail that blend of quiet luxury with the platinum, innovative design with those side-set stones, and serious watchmaking chops inside.
Definitely. It's a fascinating piece that challenges the idea that luxury has to be loud.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. In a world that often seems to value the big, overt statement, what does a watch like this Tambour Platinum Rainbow tell us about luxury that's mainly for the wearer?
Maybe the deepest appreciation comes from those details, that weight, that flash of color from the side that only you really get to perceive fully, something to mull over.